On day 1, we're going to start with sending a cold email. Days 2 through 7, so this is basically week 1, we are going to call the prospect multiple times. And in order to call them multiple times within the 2 to 7 day period, we're going to hang up. And we're not going to leave a voicemail message, because if we leave a voicemail message, then we might need to wait before we call them again. So we're going to call many times during this first week without leaving a voicemail message. Now we progress to week 2. And 1 week after we send our first email, we're going to call, and at this point, we're going to leave a voicemail message. Because we just left a voicemail message, we're going to send a voicemail follow-up email. And because we just left a voicemail and sent another email, at this point, we're going to pause for the remainder of week 2. And so this is round 1, week 1, week 2. And what we could use for the emails and the voicemail message in terms of what we say, if you're using our sales messaging approach, we could use your value points building block for these messages. And that completes round 1. We pause. When this pause expires, we progress to round 2. If you're using our approach for sales messaging, you could use your pain points building block for these messages. So now we're starting to hit the prospect with a different message. Maybe something else in this message strikes a chord that didn't happen in the earlier messages, or we begin to reinforce and expand on the story we already started to tell. And this is it for round 2. Now we progress to round 3. And again, it's a copy. So we're moving into week 5, same steps, and we're sending a different email, leaving a different voicemail, and sending a different message for the follow-up voicemail. And at this point, what we could do is we could use our name drop building block for this messaging, and then we move on to round 4, same steps, except now we might use our product building block. And so if you could see the progression there in terms of messaging, the first 3 rounds are really more focused on consultative selling, focusing more on the prospect. And it's this last round, around 4, where we're kind of leaning more towards, okay, this is who I work for, this is what I sell. By the way, if we compare this to a product selling salesperson, they typically send this messaging their round 1. And usually what a salesperson does, this is what I experience when salespeople contact me, is round 1 is this product message. And then when they contact me for the second time, it's actually a repeat of the product message from round 1 with some sort of intro like, did you see my last email? Again, this is what I sell. Do you need what I sell? That is our prospecting cadence. And so if you look at it like this, there's a lot of different steps. You could follow this exactly. You could take some ideas from this. There's a couple things that I would recommend you take from this. One is you could look at this and you could come to the conclusion that, yeah, and most likely a salesperson is not contacting enough. And if they're not contacting enough before moving on, they may be prematurely moving on to close the prospect and move on, labeling that prospect as not interested or not a fit. With this approach, when you reach the end of week 8, you could move on and label the prospect as not being able to be reached, and you're going to move on. Maybe you add that prospect to automated email drip, an email campaign, but you can reach a decision to stop proactively trying to reach out to that prospect. If you do reach that decision and you've gone through these steps, I think you can have confidence that you did not prematurely move on, that you tried to do everything you could to get a hold of that person, and this is just one of those people that you're not able to reach. The other thing that you can do is you could get ideas from this in terms of how to create your own cadence if you don't follow this exactly. But what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to worry about, okay, what day is it? Am I doing a step too early or am I doing a step too late? This is just to encourage you to pursue your prospect, reach out a lot, and keep trying to contact them before you move on. So hopefully you can get some ideas from this.